It's time for Around the Ozarks Sports Scene, sponsored by Fast Break Sports and The Pitch. Here's your host, Scott Puryear.
Welcome into another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. I am Scott Puryear. As always, a big thanks to you for listening, and this for the first time ever watching here. We're doing a video version of this podcast this week too, and so we'll see how it goes. We may go back to audio if there's too many complaints about the video and the ugliness that it brings into the equation there. But on my end, not my guest saying, because I don't want her mad already from the get-go, but one of my favorite guests always to talk to. You've heard us on the radio together with Ned in the past. We've done podcasts together, but this week we're going to talk to Reagan Zibilski, the former Springfield Catholic golf standout, now a standout at the University of Arkansas for the nation's top-ranked women's college golf team. Reagan, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. We're taping this on a snowy Tuesday, so I know down in Fayetteville you guys have had classes canceled. Is that a bad thing for all you you golfer people, or just nice to have kind of a day with a break?
I was actually talking to my one of my teammates. It's actually kind of nice to have a day or two to just sit and relax and not really have a lot to do. We do still get sent inclement practice plans. So we all have a putting mat, and we get sent tasks to do for the given day. But yeah, no, it's nice to kind of just sit around, hang out, watch movies, do homework.
And you guys have an indoor practice facility. Is it a case where you guys can all say, cough, cough, we can't get there today because of the roads, or not?
Yeah, no, yeah, the roads, they're on occasion they'll be undrivable, and getting to Blessings, there's a lot of curvy roads that doesn't see the sun a lot, so makes it tough.
Yeah, and down in Fayetteville, if you've been to the Arkansas campus, it's very hilly. So I mean, I imagine it's pretty treacherous for anybody trying to drive period around campus there too. So, well, the last time we visited was back in late July or August. You were getting ready to go play in the U.S. Women's Amateur, and down in Tulsa. Made it to match play in that. We'll talk about that in this and a little bit more, but kind of want to talk about your third season, your junior year at the University of Arkansas so far. You guys finished second in your first tournament of the fall, and then came out and won won actually 4 in a row now, including the last 3 of the fall. You had a big tournament over in Tulsa, Broken Arrow at Cedar Ridge, where you shot a course, I guess a personal record 63, and won your first collegiate tournament. So congratulations on that, and kind of take us through the fall semester and then the Puerto Rico trip a couple weeks ago for the number 1 ranked Razorbacks.
Yeah, so this whole junior year kind of as a whole has been a really eye-opening experience for me in a lot of ways, on the golf course and off the golf course. This team, all 9 of us, are super tight-knit, and that makes it a lot easier to get along and play good golf just kind of when you're all clicking. So right off the bat, I knew that this year was going to be different than the last couple that I experienced. But yeah, I went to Pebble. I didn't have my best stuff out there, but was able to kind of learn. We had, 2 new girls on the road that had never traveled before. So kind of getting to know what they were like, and, just kind of getting to experience the 6 of us traveling together. That was really fun. But then we kind of reset after that, and we ended up, I think we got second by 2 shots. So we weren't far off, even like with not our best stuff. And then went out to the Blessings Collegiate Invitational, which was on the Golf Channel at end of September, beginning of October. And we played amazing that week. That was a good building block for me. Just confidence wise, and like knowing that I wasn't playing my best, and was able to kind of break through. And I think I shot 70, 71, 72 that week, and was able to get, I think 3rd place. That was a good course, right? For you, for yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge advantage, just because that course is just so difficult and just kind of unlike anything we ever see during the course of a season. So, Maria, my teammate Maho, ended up winning, and we won by, I think, at least 10, 12 shots, maybe even more. I can't remember exactly, but great confidence builder. And then a week later, we went to Tulsa, which we don't really have a lot of tournaments that we drive to, let alone have it be an hour away. So that was something a little bit different, but also kind of fun to just be able to drive down the road an hour. And it was University of Tulsa's event. Never had played Cedar Ridge Golf Club before. Some of our friends from Springfield had played it a couple times. They hosted a live tour event out there, I believe. And I really liked the golf course. In the practice round, it was a little tough just because it was so windy. And when you've never played a golf course before and it's blowing 30 mile an hour, it's like difficult to get a gauge on how the golf course really plays. So going into it, I had confidence just from my top 3 finish at Blessings, but definitely a little bit of anxiety, just not knowing the course and only seeing it once. And the next day was the 36-hole day, so I played 2 rounds. And so my first round was 2 over, I think. And then something just clicked in the second round. I still tell people I don't really know what it was. I just kind of went up to every putt knowing that I had a chance to go in, and I had a couple of putts drop early. And I was kind of able to keep that momentum going, which was really nice to see.
Was this kind of like the 60 out at Stewart or not?
Similar, because I had no idea where I stood. And which is a very nice feeling to have. You try to maximize those times where you kind of feel like you're in that zone where you don't really know where you stand, but that was definitely one of those times. And so I came off of the golf course, finished with -8, and ended up having a 1-shot lead over my teammate, Kendall Todd. And we had a pretty good lead team-wise going into the last day. So I just told myself, I said, the 6 months leading up to that, I had been really, really close. I felt like my game was in a good place, but it was just kind of getting a few things to click mentally and confidence-wise for me that I had been struggling with, especially kind of like that July, August, September. It was really, really good to be able to tell myself, Reagan, like, you are good enough and you can win at the collegiate level, which I hadn't seen before. So it was really special. My parents were there, and some of our best friends from home came and watched. So that was awesome. But it was a really fulfilling feeling to be able to get my first individual title.
That 63 beat your previous collegiate low by, I believe, by 5 shots, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And you shot a 68 as a sophomore, maybe? The 68?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and your teammate, you called her what? Maria?
Maho, yeah.
I better not get that wrong. She's a sophomore now, right? Is this the one that's about 5 foot or?
Yep, 4'11".
4'11", yeah. And I believe, is she the number 1 ranked player collegiately in the country?
Yes, yeah. And 5th in the world.
And 5th in the world. And just for statistical purposes, you beat her by 13 shots in that tournament.
I did.
So, I mean, if anything tells you about, anybody out there that says golf, how's it happen? It happens that way because it's golf.
Exactly.
I mean, you can literally have a day like that where you shoot 63 and you beat her by 13 shots. But you talk about the confidence and beating somebody like that who's your own teammate, and then you're Kendall Todd, I think you won by 2 or 3 to win the tournament, correct on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a huge boost. And then you turn around and don't have your best tournament the next event, right? Yes and no. We went to Oklahoma City for the Stevens Cup, and that was our 3rd year playing. And Tulsa had been extremely windy, like I mentioned. And then so we turn around the next week and it's windy again in Oklahoma City. So, we were able to get in a lot of practice in those tough conditions, and the scores were really, really high in the first 3 rounds of stroke play at Stevens Cup. I was able to get, I think I finished 5th in stroke play. So solid, high scores, but still solid. And we were able to get the 2 seed going into the final day, which was the match play. And we played against Oregon. And it came down to one of our freshmen from Oklahoma. She ended up winning on the last hole in dramatic fashion. And that was a lot of fun, just
because you don't get a lot of match play experience until it gets to postseason. And then you're kind of like, ooh, not a lot of experience. What do we do? How do we, set up matches and, kind of strategically go about it. So it's fun to have that practice in a place like Stephens Cup in October on the Golf Channel still. It's good to kind of have that practice. And it was a lot of fun. That's probably one in my top 3 college memories is the last hole with our freshmen winning that hole to win the tournament. It was exciting.
That's
jumping
awesome.
up and down.
That wrapped up your fall season. You got to come home for Christmas, I take it, for a little bit. And
yes, I came
recharge.
Recharged. I played in a tournament in Arizona in between Christmas and New Year's, and then we spent a week with some of our friends in Palm Springs. And I came back here and started the season in Puerto Rico.
You guys go to Puerto Rico, have a good tournament there as well.
We did, yes. The first round was a little rocky. I just think everyone was a little bit rusty, and then we kind of put the pedal to the metal and kind of sealed the deal the last 2 rounds.
And you had you guys are off, have been off since then, but you go back in action at the Chevron down in Houston, or is that in the Houston area coming up?
Houston, yep. We leave on Saturday. And it's Monday, Tuesday, so the 24th and 25th, I believe.
Looking at the rest of your spring, you've got the Darius Rucker out in South Carolina, where you guys traditionally go to that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met him yet or not? You and Darius, are you guys buds? You buds now?
We met last year, and he's fun. He's fun to be around.
And then you've got the Betsy Rawls down in Austin, Texas, and then the Clemson Invitational, and then the SEC tournament, which – when you look at who you guys play basically every week in these things, or every time you go out, about half the field's SEC team. So there's no surprises when you guys go down to the SEC championships, is there?
Right. No, it's good. We, with having a coach like Shauna, who has developed a lot of relationships over the last 15 years, 20 years, being a college coach, we're able to have like a first-class field first-class schedule every year. So like the Darius, I don't think she's missed a year since being the head coach at Arkansas. And, Stephens Cup will always be kind of in there with just the ties to Arkansas. And, the Chevron is a new one. And we also haven't been to University of Texas's tournament. So those are the 2 new ones that I haven't been to, but I'll be interested to see how they work out.
What's the big difference? You kind of touched on it earlier with this team, but more importantly, with Reagan Zibilski. I mean, how are you different this year as a collegiate golfer?
Yeah, I think I've just been able to tap into myself. And, freshman year Reagan and sophomore year Reagan was very, mentally outwardly focused on and off the golf course. And I kind of have a motto that I live by is you only have so much energy and so much gas in your tank. And when you're constantly pouring out energy, whether it be to your teammates or your coaches are constantly worrying about where you stand and how you're playing, you don't have a lot of energy for yourself, and just kind of being able to sit with myself and give myself the most energy and able to kind of move forward with that. It's been a game changer. And just really the self-belief aspect and knowing that I am a Division I golfer who is very talented, and knowing that I can do stuff with a golf ball that a lot of other people can't do, and telling myself that has given me that confidence boost. And obviously it's good to see the results. I had 3 top 5s in the fall. So that definitely helps, how I go into a tournament, especially in a January or February. But just kind of being able to really tap into my mental game and the confidence aspect has really, really helped a lot.
I think we talked last summer, you were just coming off the women's amateur, at Hickory Hills, finished second there. And I saw where you won the Missouri Women's Golf Association, I believe, co-player of the year type award there.
Mm-hmm.
You and Lila Louderbaugh, your former college teammate, or high school teammate, at Catholic, both went down to the U.S. Women's Amateur. You made match play. What was that experience like for you this time? Because is that your 3rd trip to the Amateur?
Yes.
And second time in match play?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk about that and how that went.
Yeah, no, I kind of tell kind of everyone I talk to, it gets easier every time. And in 2020, I made it to match play, and it looked a lot different. I didn't know what to expect. It was new territory, and so I was kind of like taking it all in, if you will. And the second two times, the second and third time, I kind of felt more at ease and like I belonged. And making it to match play this past year was it was an expectation. And I told myself, I was like, you're definitely good enough to make a run, and match play is match play. You never know what could happen. You could run into a buzzsaw, or, you could win a match not playing your best golf. So it's just kind of luck of the draw and who you get in the match. And I ended up losing in the first round, but definitely a lot of positives to take away, just kind of knowing and being able to get into your groove at a USGA event like that soon, like day 1, day 2 practice round, kind of like knowing like where you fit and the schedule and the times, and okay, I'm going to do a practice round in the morning and then 9 holes the next day, so I'm not super tired. And Tulsa, Oklahoma in August is just way too hot.
Illegal vacationing down there in August,
right?
Like that one. Yeah,
right. And I kind of had some previous knowledge with Southern Hills, so that definitely helped as well. But no, a great experience, and to be able to have Lila there, who I played a lot of junior golf with and high school golf with, definitely was a very cool experience.
I was trying to see if you guys have crossed paths this season in college golf. Kansas is playing really well. I think they won 3 tournaments or 3 or 4 in a row. She's played well. You don't see them hardly anywhere, do you? No?
We really don't. They play a lot of West Coast golf, and we don't really.
Yeah. Is the U.S. Women's Amateur almost like an extended NCAA championships? I mean, is it full of college standouts?
Yeah, it really is. And, now with the game growing as fast as it is, you see the junior golf standouts, the 14, 15, 16-year-olds that are world beaters. And the NCAA field is top tier, but the USAM is maybe just a step above that.
So NCAA championships, freshman year, you guys didn't get out of the regional, right?
Missed it by 1.
Yeah, by 1 shot. Yeah. Last year you got out of the regional, went to the NCAAs. Did that finish up? Was it like 10th, I think, as a team?
10th. Yep. We missed match play by like 2 spots.
Yeah. So is this team different? Is this team better equipped to go and kind of finish the job, so to speak?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody maybe a week ago after Puerto Rico, and we have 4 players that on any given day, if you catch them in the right frame of mind, we're not beatable, and that's really, really, really unique. And that's what you see out of the Stanfords and the USCs of the world, and like, to know that we are capable of that is definitely, it's different, because we have that confidence, and we know that we're one of the best teams in the country, and that we do have the talent to take it far.
Sure. And
we have Maho, and we have Kendall's developed immensely over the last, 2.5 years. And then Clarissa Tamello, she's a freshman from Mexico, an absolute world beater, and she's been great on and off the golf course. A great kid, loves the game of golf, loves college. And so that, those 4, you get kind of set into a routine and traveling week in and week out. And we have a really good understanding for one another, which is very unique. Because you kind of have to vibe with the people that you're traveling with. And we do, and we really love each other, and we want the best for each other every day. And you don't see that everywhere else, which is really unique.
You came into Fayetteville off a storied high school career playing for Frank Deland and Sam Taylor at Catholic. Was it 3 state championships as a team and 2 individually, or was it 4? I can't remember which.
3 team championships and 2 individual.
Yeah, and a kid with your resume and who's played AJGA, level golf throughout high school, goes to Arkansas. it'd be easy to kind of settle in, and there's no settling in at Arkansas with what they keep recruiting over the top of other people, don't they? And so you either get better or you don't travel, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And, that was one of the things that I, as a freshman, did really have to work hard. And it took me a good year and a half to prove myself and to kind of be one of those leaders on the golf team, on and off the golf course. And that's kind of what I tell people. It takes a minute to settle in, and freshman year is really hard, and you add a sport on top of it. It gets a little overwhelming, but yeah, just being able to kind of not ease into it, but know and to work the hardest that you can, it'll pay off.
So, we got all the serious stuff out because when we have you on, we got to get silly with some stuff. So I had to come up with some questions, just maybe hit you with things that you haven't been asked. I've probably asked some of these, but, we live in a different world now with the NIL and the transfer portal. And I probably understand you're not going anywhere because you like your surroundings down there, correct?
Correct.
Portal's not an option. But NIL wise, if you could have any NIL deal with any product and you got that free for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Any NIL deal product wise?
Yeah. And it can be food if it needs to be food, or, a guilty pleasure that you may have down there in Fayetteville and back home.
I have an avid shopping addiction. I'll be really honest.
That has been revealed in the past, right? So Lululemon, was that the one that was?
I was gonna say a Lululemon NIL deal would probably seal the deal for me.
If you make it on the pro tour, is that somebody that you're going to have your agent call pretty early and say, "Hey, love to wear a logo on my hat and my shirts"?
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be hearing from me at some point.
Do they sponsor anybody? Do you know?
They do. Men. Okay, on the men's side, Minhoo Lee. He's an ambassador for Lululemon, and then Max Homa just signed with Lululemon. That's on the men's side, but there are a few LPGA golfers that are ambassadors for Lululemon. You have me thinking now. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Check.
Is there an alternate? I mean, is there a food product that you would say I'll take that free for the rest of my life?
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its?
Cheez-Its, yeah.
Let's don't set the bar too high here, Reagan. I thought maybe Andes or something like that.
Of course. Of course, yes.
That's kind of just like saying cashew chicken in Springfield, really.
Exactly.
So, one Hickory Hills member that you'd really like to play and beat in an 18-hole match, head-to-head, and male or female, probably hoping you say male, and if you said Drew Gibbons, I'd be pretty happy with that too. But give me one that you just really want to take to the woodshed, and so you can talk the rest of the summer. Okay.
This one might be a little surprising, but I was thinking about this the other day, just being in Springfield over Christmas break. Tyler Thompson and I have had a lot of conversations about an upcoming match at Hickory Hills this summer, and so I'm gonna go ahead and say Tyler Thompson, just because I know we'd have the best time and we'd laugh a lot, and it's never a boring day on the golf course with Tyler Thompson.
Can you outdrive him because he hits it long?
No. He'll hit 8-iron where I'm hitting 4-iron.
Will you ask for the appropriate tee box situation in that match?
Yes, there will be some negotiations made for sure.
Yeah, one tee box difference or a couple?
Oh man, I'd probably tell him to tip it out, and I might play the blues, might beg to play the whites.
Okay. So you and Tyler Thompson. Should we televise that? Maybe would it be fun to hear?
I bet we could get. I bet we could get that figured out. Instagram live it.
There you go. Next question: who is the real Big Z at Arkansas now? Is it the original Reagan Zibilski, or is it this basketball guy, Big Z? I can't even pronounce it. Zvonimir Ivisic.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Honestly, all kidding aside, we share a training room with the basketball teams. So we're kind of able to see them day in and day out, whether we're getting treatment or recovery or whatever. And Big Z is all of 7'3", maybe more. Yeah. But he is like the sweetest guy. He's from Croatia, so definitely.
So will you share Big Z status with him or not? Or you just go by Z?
I'll go by Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Longest drive you've ever hit that was recorded with length?
The longest drive. Ooh. Probably in Scottsdale, Arizona, in the Patriot. I think maybe it was either last year or the year before. I think I hit a drive 320 downwind. Yeah, but that's moving it.
Yeah. Do they track that collegiately for you? Does your coach keep track of driving distance and greens and regulation, all that? What is your college average driving distance, and where do you hope to be?
My average driving distance right now is around 275.
Wow.
But with our stats that we do very specific stats with a program called Clipped. And that kind of keeps track of your average driving distance, but it is hard to get a gauge because you're sometimes not hitting driver off the tee. But
have you been outdriven by anybody you played with in the 3 years of college golf?
Oh, yeah. Actually, with being a longer hitter, there's kind of a group of us that everyone's like, okay, when you get paired with this person, you're like, yeah, she hits it far. It's probably Kendall Todd, my teammate, myself, a girl from Vanderbilt named Tilly Claggett from Texas. She hits it farther than we do by a ways. Mm-hmm. Ex-swimmer, by the way. She's strong.
Okay.
And then, boy, those might be the longest. Hannah Darling from South Carolina can move it too.
How far does Maho, the 4'11" teammate, hit it? Is she out there ways, or does she make up for it in other areas?
Per pound, she pumps it. I'd say she's in that 250 range.
Okay.
All in. Yeah. So no, she moves it. And for how slow and not slow, but how fluid her swing is, it's picking up speed.
What do you credit that to? Is it torque? Is it does she bring the club? Is it body turn? What do you see there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so fluid and there's no timing issue whatsoever. So you're able to when it's at the perfect position at the top, you can just move it as fast as you want on the way down. And her consistency, I mean, I tell people I've never seen someone hit a golf ball straight and as out of the middle of the club face as she does. So you get it. You can move it as fast as you want if you have those key fundamentals down.
If the golf gods told you could only play one more course, 18 holes for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Like the same golf course over and over again?
Just one time. You got one more round left in your life.
One more round of golf in my life?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to get sentimental, but probably Hickory.
Hickory Hills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have some of the
non-Hickory. What about your non-home course? What would it be?
Non-home course. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go.
The last 2 years. That's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yep, I was gonna say probably. I've never played this golf course before, but if we're on that side of the United States, probably Cypress.
Okay. One tip you would give to the weekend hack that would help their golf game, what would it be?
Don't swing it too hard.
Really?
Don't overswing. Nothing good happens from overswinging.
Look at Maho, right?
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, if you're 4'11", you can hit it 250. Something's going right there. And
something's going right. Yep.
Yeah. Biggest rivalry so far in the SEC, team or individual? Is it? And if you don't want to name an individual, that's fine. But is there a team that you guys just kind of get particularly pumped to play and beat?
LSU and Auburn.
Really? Why?
Yep. Oh, man. I think, our coaches, Shauna and the Auburn coach, are kind of around the same age and have been coaching for around the time period. And, kind of year in and year out, that Auburn's been one of the top programs in the SEC, and so is LSU. And, we get a good team on our hands. We're kind of up there always competing. So that part, but then also some of my really good friends are on Auburn's golf team, and I know a few girls on LSU's golf team. But just kind of that, we're kind of always in the same tournaments. We always have a similar schedule. And so we see them year round. And by the end of the year, you've seen a lot of Auburn, and you're like, okay, we're gonna kick some butt.
Favorite Reagan Zibilski match play, maybe slightly underhanded trick to play mentally with the opponent?
Oh man.
Do you do any of that, or do you walk ahead of them, make them mad? Do you drop your bag in their swing? What?
Honestly, I'm a pretty low key person to play match play against. I've had other people tell me that just for being 6 foot tall, that kind of adds a factor within itself, and hitting it a long ways. But I'm a really fast player, and in match play, I'll play even faster. And if you can't keep up, then you'll probably know about it.
Do you watch Tom Kim on the PGA Tour at all?
Oh, I'm a big Tom Kim fan.
Are you a fan of him standing over the ball for 45 seconds before he hits it, or not? Would that drive you nuts? Yeah,
that drives me nuts because I think I stand over the ball for maybe 4 or 5 seconds.
You got to just take care of business and get moving, right?
Yep.
I've got one for you. You can try next match play is, if it's somebody you're out driving consistently, when you get even with their ball, count out how many steps, the distance between, count them out loud, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And just stop, when you get to that number, it's your ball, and see if that gets annoying for them at some point where you just completely mess them up. So maybe not. Don't tell your coach I said that. That probably wouldn't be good. The better atmosphere, Arkansas football or Arkansas basketball game? Arkansas
basketball game.
Really?
Yep.
Do you try to go to several?
I do. One of my best friends, who's also my teammate, she's a freshman from Little Rock, huge Arkansas basketball fan. And so we try to go to as many games as we can, whether it be with her parents, my parents, just the two of us. And it's always a packed house in there, especially with Calipari being here. That's definitely helped. But they're starting to play better basketball. I think we had a lot of really good individuals as really good basketball players individually, but getting to play together and learn each other, I think, has been hard for them. But they've turned it around. So hopefully we can see some good basketball being played.
Hogs baseball, you plan on getting out to watch that top 5 team, and softball's top 10 now too. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Arkansas sports. I mean, I feel like we're generally underrated. But you kind of look at the stats, and you got softball, you got baseball, you got basketball, you got golf, track and field. I mean, it's really, you're a really good athlete if you're playing a sport here.
Last question: Dixon Street or downtown Springfield?
Dixon Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got particular places you like to visit on Dixon Street?
Honestly, I don't see that part of town much because I'm always go, especially this time of year. But if I'm out and about with my friends, I love a good Tin Roof moment.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia's Majestic is a fun place to be also.
Absolutely. What's one area in your game that you've got to get better at between now and trying to play pro?
Yeah. All in all, my ball striking and that part of my game has never really been an issue. It's kind of always been putting and chipping. And in the last 6 months, my putting has improved immensely. I feel like I've gained a lot of control over that aspect. But chipping and wedges have always been my Achilles heel. And it's something that, when you hit as many greens as I hit on a average round of golf, you don't chip that much. So you get into a position sometimes where you're like, I've never seen this shot before, or I don't chip that often. So it's like you get maybe a little bit tense or a little bit nervous. And so just really working on gaining confidence in my chipping, I think is one of the places where if I do get a lot better at it, it'll take me to the next level.
Have you formulated your summer schedule yet after the college season? Do you know where you're going to play and what's ahead?
Yeah, I have it, on a paper calendar already. And I'm wanting to play in tournaments, and I'm also wanting to kind of enjoy, the summer and my friends and traveling, and because it's kind of getting to the end of that time and entering the big girl world, if you will. But I'll definitely play the Sea Island Am. It's one of the better ones in the summer. The Women's Western, the North-South Am, possibly the Missouri Amateur. I haven't decided 100% on that, and then the US Am.
Okay.
Hopefully Arnold Palmer Cup too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you mentioned Big Girl World. Big Girl World is the hopefully playing on the LPGA Tour. Is that still the goal? And
still the goal.
It's been so long. I was trying to think. The only one I'm absolutely sure of is Kathy Reynolds, the last one from the Springfield area to play on the LPGA Tour. Ann Kane, I know, had a shot. Yep. After her career at Glendale in Georgia, but she settled into teaching and really has just thrived in that role. So I don't really know, what is the process to get out on the LPGA Tour? Is there a Q school? Is it based on any kind of college rankings or status like the guys? Kind of explain that to me.
Yeah. So the first step is to go to Q school, and there's 3 stages of Q school. So if you make it out of stage 1, you have conditional mini tour status, and then you go to stage 2. And if you make it out of stage 2, you have full mini tour status, which is called the Epson Tour. And then final stage is where you go, and if you finish high enough, you get different types of status on the LPGA Tour. But college rankings definitely do help. Like if you get, I think, top 10 or top 8 in college golf rankings, I think you're exempt from stage 1 of Q school, which is really nice. But it's a grueling process, but I think going through Q school, that does set you up for the LPGA, if you will. But yeah, no.
Would that be the fall after your final semester, or when does that all come about?
Yeah, so the middle of May of my senior year is when national championships are, and then it would be that August.
Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. Reagan, always enjoy catching up with you. It's always a lot of fun, and go out and have a great spring, and let's talk again at the end of the summer, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I enjoy it as always.
Thanks, Reagan. That's going to do it for this edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. Special thanks to our guest, Reagan Zibilski, the standout golfer at University of Arkansas, for her patience as we trudge through the first video podcast we've done, and appreciate her participation. Big thanks you to our sponsors, Fast Break Sports and the Pitts Pizza and Pub. Of course, Fast Break Sports over on South Campbell, just past Battlefield. They're on the west side of Campbell. Your home for all things sports collectibles, cards, memorabilia. They've got great stuff for your fan cave, all there at Fast Break Sports. The Pitts Pizza and Pub is in the Southern Hills Shopping Center off East Sunshine. Great place to go have a great lunch or dinner. Catch the latest sporting events on their TVs, cold beverages. Great place to meet too as a group there with your whether it's a business meeting or any kind of special occasion there at the Pitch Pizza and Pub. Of course, we always tell you with our the pitch what to watch this weekend. Looking ahead, high school basketball on the docket for Friday night, usual big night. One of the highlight games is Nick's at Central in the Pit. That will be likely for the Central Ozark Conference Championship, so that should be a great atmosphere there. Missouri State Bears are home with Illinois State on Saturday at 7 o'clock. Of course, the Bears not having the season they thought they might under first-year coach in his return, Conzo Martin, but they'll try to get that corrected Saturday night over at Great Southern Bank Arena. Lady Bears start a 4-game set on the road. They're 20-5, 12-2 in the Valley. They will visit Northern Iowa on Thursday, Drake on Saturday, and then finish up at Murray State and Belmont the following week before coming home for their final 2 games in early March to the regular season. And the baseball Bears are underway. They won 2 out of their first 3 games in their season opening series down at Sam Houston State. They'll take on number 18 Mississippi State, an SEC member this weekend. And so good luck to the baseball Bears, Coach Joey Hawkins in his first season. Finally, wanted to give a shout out to one of our guests from a couple months ago, actually, Molly Miller, the former Kickapoo High School Drury standout, Drury Lady Panthers coach at one time. She is the head coach at Grand Canyon University. Her women's team is now 24-2 overall, and they have the nation's longest winning streak at 22 games. So they're on a roll. They're at Cal Baptist on this Saturday. If you want to catch Molly's team in action, ESPN Plus, I believe it's a 3 p.m. tip there. But her Lopes are 17-0 at home and undefeated in the Western Athletic Conference too. So a big year for Molly and GCU basketball. Will she parlay this into a Power 4 job after the season? Pretty good chance of that. Looks like there may be a couple close by SEC jobs possibly open. So stay tuned to see what happens there. Again, thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next week on Around the Ozarks Sports Scene.